yourself, Echo.
Where's my YouTube on mute?
Well, do you follow along on YouTube or do you just follow along on here?
No, on here. I'm not following along.
Good. Okay, so then fuck YouTube.
Okay.
Because anything that comes through YouTube, you'll see it on there.
All right. Should I rock and roll?
I think you might be live. Let me see.
Hello, hello, hello. Can you guys hear me? Can anyone hear your favorite fintech CEO?
You're all good. I'm going to drop off. I hear
Okay. Okay, my good friends. Happy Wednesday. Who is ready for some serious under the hood action of trade ideas? This is going to be a great live stream because I'm going to show you so many tips and tricks of how to do things you may have never known how to do otherwise. Yeah, Jim, I'm not sure. I don't hear the double speak echo. Does anybody else hear that? Hopefully, that's just something with your audio. If anyone else can give me some feedback. Steve, do you hear an echo? Okay, great. I'm going to let a couple more people get in here because we kind of had a late start. So bear with me for like approximately 2 minutes while we let people in. And what you're looking at right now is our AI. This is our premium channel, and we're going to dive into how to maximize it. And also at the same time, we're going to talk about how to set up your own custom alerts and all the things that are possible there. So just hold tight for like another minute and a half, and then I will get rolling. Okay, my good friends, let's get ready to rock and roll. So we're going to start today with just an overview of how to really get the most out of trade ideas right away. And we're going to talk about machine learning real quick. This is a little bit of an overview. I've covered this before in another live stream, but I'm going to start here because ultimately what everyone is trying to get to is the runner, the big trade, the one that lets you make big gains and hopefully leverage those gains to an improved lifestyle, because that's what we are all about. It's not really just about the money. It's about the lifestyle, that having wealth and the ability to control that wealth, the lifestyle is what we are shooting for. And I've been very fortunate because I've been doing this since 1995, probably before many of you were even born. And I started out using a system called SOS. It's called the Small Order Execution System. It's a great research topic for anybody that wants to jump in. And it was my experience with the SOS system that led to the software that you're seeing here. So let's first of all, take a look at this. Okay, this window right here is your market pulse window. What it's doing is it is tracking new highs and lows since I've had this window open. And you can see that since I've opened this window, and it's been open, I think, probably for about an hour or so. This specific one, maybe a little bit longer. We've been 65% bullish, 35% bearish, and you can see how these things are tracking. So this is the total, but you can see what's going on with the numbers. So the bears are maybe peaking a little bit here and the bulls are declining, but still overall we're pretty positive, and the Qs just hit a high. Okay, so that tells you that, you know, NASDAQ is really up quite a bit. So that means that in some ways the majority of stocks are bullish. But this is where the AI, and our AI is called Holly, as in the Holy Grail, does what no other vendor in fintech does, and that is that overnight it runs a machine learning algorithm trying to find setups that are working. And just because the market is up, that does not necessarily mean that the big setups are going to be all bullish. So in fact, here, let's talk about what we've seen today. We had a DATS sell signal at 559. Now this stock is up, but remember, our software plays like a card counting game where it knows whether the stock is potentially in a mean reversion kind of a mode, or if it's a momentum continuation mode. And it knows this by studying the data overnight. Overnight, it runs through approximately 1 million different possible trades, sort of like the way the FBI would hunt a serial killer. You know, if you watch any of the interesting movies about how you track down a criminal, what the FBI does is they are looking at behavior. What kind of clues are there to what will happen in the future? And that's how we approach our AI. We look at all sorts of different moves yesterday and we say, okay, well, based on what happened, what were the what were the behavior patterns of the stock before it ran up or before it moved down? And taking that aggregately, our software gives a profile of moves either on the long side or the short side where it thinks there's the most potential for continuation. So the idea is that it's better than just simply blindly following the momentum. So here it's showing you that there's some really interesting things here. Let's take a look at another one that's right at the signal. EDR. Here you go, 29.67, and SOC. Notice once again that the AI is not a fortune teller. It's a statistical analysis engine. So here we have a sell signal. It actually was moving in and out of this area, but look at why it's doing it is what I'm trying to kind of show you guys. It's playing the card counting odds of it's tried this today. And the idea is that if it curls again, you could see a really big move. That's the idea. That's what the card counting, number crunching is all about. And it does it in both directions, the long and the short side. Here you have a signal today, and this is a 5-minute chart. Notice the picture-in-picture. And I want to point something out, that in an interesting kind of duality, okay, SDGR is a long trade because of a certain profile of the volume and the momentum, whereas SOC is a short trade. But they are very similar looking. And this is the interesting thing where you almost have to ask yourself, does the computer have a type of numerical intuition? And we think that it does, because once again, we do not control it. This is machine learned. It's doing it all by itself. Now, these are the signals that are happening today that you should be focusing on. They're right here. These are the today signals. But you should be looking at these two windows as well, because these are the signals that happened previously. And I'm going to go through them a little bit. And I'm going to switch this to the picture-in-picture where you can see the daily and the shorter term right here. So you can kind of see, what do winners look like when they run? So first of all, ASST, okay? This was a signal that happened yesterday. I, of course, did not do the live stream yesterday, but the idea is that most of, or rather all of the trades that we profile are trades that are happening for longer term. We want this ASST. Guys, sorry about the echo. I have no control over that. Hopefully it's just one or a few people who experience it. Anybody else? Just real quick. Okay, I'm going to continue. So every single trade that the AI pulls up is a potential multi-day runner. And I'm proving this to you right here. So ASST, yesterday's call. Look at the momentum afterwards. This is the serial runner profiling. Huge day of volume yesterday and continuation today, and it went up quite a bit. So almost one point, almost 100% winner in 2 days. Okay. So I'm constantly looking at these because, let me show you something else real quick. Let's say, for example, I'm going to delete this, stop. Okay. Let's say, for example, I thought I deleted it. Okay. Here was a sell signal, was approximately 1 to 2 weeks ago, roughly speak, a week ago? No, a little bit over a week ago. Signal, huge run from 7 all the way to 15. That's 100% in 1, 2, 3 days. Okay. Let me, I think I need to click on this to get rid of that, I think. I have a dev build, so it's a little bit finicky. Now I'll just move it out of the way. There we go. Come on. Okay, so signal, 100% move, but look at the retracement all the way back to the signal. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 days later. So from 100% right back to the signal. And then look, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 days later, you're about 60% up. Okay, and this is where we are right now, 56.63%. After the signal, we have no ability to control any of this, okay, because it's the future. So this is just mathematical probability analysis. And what I'm trying to show you is that how do these trades manifest? And it's not always just a straight line. Let's take a look at another one. Okay. 310 signal right here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18 days later, you're up 66%. So this is the idea that we are all trying to work on, okay? This is the concept. And of course, it does it in both directions. Yesterday, we had a sell signal in HUSA, and that sell signal today is 33% higher. Here, we had a sell signal at 750 for RGTIW, entry price. And 1, 2, you probably would have been out of it here. But again, we continue to try to re-enter the trade. And this one is probably one of the harder ones because it closed above the entry price, but then had a huge gap down. But again, I'm trying to say that if trading was super easy, every single person would be doing it. We're trying to get you into the moves to the best of our abilities. To the best of our abilities. And sometimes, and this is a perfect example, we signal multiple days, okay? So there was a signal at 750, but also the next day there was a signal at 836. This one would have been the easier one. So the AI reiterated it for you. So let's say you got into 750, you would have been stopped out, but you could have gotten again at 836, and this one would have been an easier stay. So this is how you approach the AI signals today. Previous signals sorted by what's moving in the direction of the signal. And here you can tell the long-term profit. I think I'm trading $5,000 worth per position, and the percentage return. Same here. This is just high-end statistical analysis. So what I'm going to do now, you guys, is I'm going to show you what it's like to create your own alerts and how to really get under the hood of trade ideas. So there's a question of, is there a signal that shows a breakout that doesn't get follow through, either to the bullish or bear side? And the answer is there's tons of those, but you don't know that until after the fact. So I can show you a couple of ways of how you can do that. And this is part of what we will be discussing today. It's the whole configuration of diving under the hood and getting the power out of trade ideas for yourself. We're going to dive right in, okay? So let's start by going to New, right here in the toolbar, New, and selecting Alert Window. So by default, I get a window setting that I've used myself before, but I'm going to go to Start from Scratch. And the person in chat asked me about, well, can I see a breakout that didn't have follow through? And let me show you a couple of ways that you can do that. Okay. I'm going to go to search and I'm going to type in pullback. Because pullback is a way to describe when something runs but doesn't have follow through. So let me show you what we can do here. We have pullbacks from lows, and we have pullbacks from highs, and from different parts, from the close or from the open. So let me show you what it's like when a breakout happens, but there is not that much follow through. Okay, so I'm going to say 25% pullback from highs from the open. And the reason I'm using the open is because this way, when you're from the close, a gap can make it so that you aren't participating in the price. I'm just giving you an example from the open just to get your mind thinking about it. Okay, so I'm going to add an alert. And you can see some of the things I've been doing before. So it tracks what you've been doing. So here's 25% pullback from high, from the open. And you can specify how big was the initial move. And I'm going to say at least 50 cents. So this is a minimum. So initial move size of 50 cents. So that's the alert. And our software, the difference between Trade Idea software and all the other vendors is that notice that I'm not making a symbol list. I'm not like saying, okay, well, I want to do, and of course you can. But what I'm saying is that by default, our software is watching everything. This is the difference between us, TradingView, and TrendSpider, and every single other vendor. We are the only ones that do this. Once you ask it to look for something, it will look for something everywhere. Then you have to specify if you want to be more specific, like S&P and stuff like that. Like, for example, symbol lists. Add a symbol list, only from the following list. Add existing list. There's so many different ones that you can add. Warrants, airlines. I'm just giving you an example, but I'm going to stick with all symbols. But filters, okay? Filters is how you create the universe that you want to share, analyze. And filtering is one of the most powerful things with trade ideas. So let's say here in this example that we're doing from the gentleman about the pullback, I'm going to look for stocks between $5 and $20, okay? And I'm going to say relative volume. So that means what is the stock trading like today? Because we want to see this momentum, I'm going to say at least 2. But check this out. See right here, this is show me. This is what's called our computer-based training module. Every filter has this. And I'm going to show you how powerful this is. Okay. So in words, show me stocks where the current volume is at least 2. But check this out. Histogram. So it instantly tells you that as of this moment, there are only 1,213 stocks that are trading 2 times the normal amount. So you kind of at least understand what it is you're doing. Okay. So that's how I'm going to look at this. And I'm going to call this just like the gentleman asked, breakouts that don't follow. Good. Okay, does everybody see this? Just want to make sure everyone's following along. You can hear the audio and see what I'm doing. So I set up an alert, 25% pullback, and I went to the filters and I said between 5 and 20, I'm trading 2 times. And then, by the way, I can get rid of a lot of this stuff. I can say hide unused. Boom. Now it's clean. I can say add defaults. These are just things that, we think you may be interested in seeing. Like, for example, I can say volume today has to have been at least 500,000 shares. Okay. All right, so I'll give everybody the link after I'm done doing it, of course. So I'm going to hit OK. So breakout that don't breakouts, I'm going to use proper English. That, whoops. That don't follow through. Okay. Now I'm going to hit OK. And I'm going to bring this into the view mode. And let's see. So the last alert just happened 2 minutes ago. Let me show you what it looks like on the intraday chart. So the power of pattern recognition. Let me bring this in so you can see it. So you can see CLM Calumet has been running up, just ran up to here, but then pulled back. Does everybody see that? let me show you something cool. I can right click and I can go to history and I can say, okay, well, let's take a look at what's happened today. And by the way, some of these that initially didn't follow through will have followed through thereafter. But let's take a look at what's going on. So here's one. RX. Okay. So this was where it ran up. You got signaled right here, 783, and it continued to come down thereafter, and it's right now making a little bit of a rebound. Okay. Let's look at another one, CRNC. Ran up, pulled back, made newer highs afterwards, because remember, we are looking at things that are moving, but then had a big pullback. So the idea is that just because you catch the first one does not necessarily mean that that is what will happen. It's just that at the time, at 7:06 a.m. Pacific time, when I would have been looking at this window, this is what I would have seen. I would have seen a run up, pull back, and I mean, I could have gotten short. I would have probably, it ran up another point, so that probably would have gotten me out. But it did end up telling you that that was actually a pretty good fade. Let's look at another one. Here's another one. Ran up right here, boom, pull back, and continued lower. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to history, and I'm going to go to real time, and just once again set it on the last one that we saw. And I'm going to show you guys how I make it so that I can share this with everyone here. I right click and I say save or share to cloud. Okay. And you can see that I have a lot of stuff going on here, but by default, it should select just this breakouts that don't follow through. And I'm going to say from live stream. And you don't have to do anything here. I'm just doing that so that everyone knows. And I'm going to say save and share. I'm copying this and I'm going to paste it into the chat. Please let me know if everyone is able to see it. Or if you can, then all you have to do is copy that link and go to, I'm actually going to close this window and go to, file, load from cloud, and that's how you load that window. Okay, Joel, awesome. Very good. Very good. All right, let's jump into some other things that you can do. So I want to first show you something. Let's say you are looking into, well, what do these alerts mean? Notice we have a help and we have alert and filter definitions. So I'm going to bring, it opens up a browser. Okay. And hopefully everyone, can you guys see that? I'm going to make sure my StreamYard is working there. Yep. Bear with me for a second, you guys. It just opened up in the same browser window, so. Okay, so our user guide is incredibly powerful. And my goal today was to show you just how to improve your own ability to get the most out of the Trade Idea software. So here we have the resources, and I went to category help index. So here, for example, you can see, well, what type of alerts and filters are using bid ask data. There's all sorts of things that you can do. Okay. Let's go back. Candle patterns. In case you didn't know, look at like all these candle patterns that exist in Trade Ideas. Some of you probably have no idea that all of this is built into the software. And what I'm doing here is I'm showing you the incredible power that is underneath the hood. So if you click on this, for example, it takes you to the definition, 60 minutes, 1, 2, 3, continuation signal. And notice, I mean, we tell you everything that you need here. There is no other vendor, you guys, that has the kind of support system that's built in here. All of this is on the web, by the way. You don't need to have Trade Ideas Pro up. And every single one of these, you can see. So for example, we just did the pullback, the 25% pullback from the open. I just used this today and showed you what it is. Take a look. Understanding the 25% pullback from the open alert. This is the power of Trade Ideas. And I have to tell you all, hopefully, as you can see it, I really have, being in this game for a very, very long time, I know what we are the best at. And there's just nobody in fintech that does what we do the way we do it. Okay. One of the most powerful things that you can do, by the way, is use statistical analysis. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to show you something here, and then I'm going to apply it. So take a look at standard deviation breakup. Let's take a look at it. You guys know what a standard deviation is? I'm hoping that you do. I mean, it's kind of basic math, but the idea being that a stock behaves normally. That's standard. But when it deviates from that behavior, that's when things are really interesting. And because our statistical analysis engine is always working behind the scenes, our database and everything that we do with Trade Ideas, it's tracking all this information in real time. And as soon as something starts behaving unusually, which is a standard deviation breakout, we let you know. And I'm going to show you what this looks like. And once again, notice that everything is very similar to what I just did before. So I'm going to minimize this. I'm going to go to new, and we're going to apply what we just learned. Okay. So here's my alert configuration screen, and I'm going to start from scratch. I'm going to search, and I'm going to type in standard deviation breakout. There it is. I'm going to add the alert. So I'm going to click the check mark that selects that now you're looking at standard deviations. So I want to find out how many standard deviations am I looking to see. I want to see something really unusual. So I'm going to select 3. Once again, in terms of where I'm going to look, I'm going to look at a specific base of stocks from $1 to $20. And I'm picking this price range. It can be anything, really. But I'm picking this price range because retail investors typically can load up more on these stocks and get the most bang for your buck. So I'm going to say 2 times. And the reason I say volume today is that this avoids like the stuff that trades 10,000 shares and then today is trading 100,000. But that's still kind of small in terms of volatility for what the kind of size that I like to put on. So like for a dollar stock, sometimes I'll, I may want to get into 20,000 shares. So if you're doing that, you want something that's trading at least have traded 500,000 shares. And I'm going to call this big fat move up. And of course, I will share this. And Iris, I'm going to show you how you can do it yourself. And I'm going to show it to you in a way that I hope everyone will really appreciate in just a moment. So big stat, move up. I'm going to hit OK. That's going to appear in another monitor. And I'm going to move the alert window over here to you guys. I'm going to dial it in here. Okay. Let's take a look. Big stat, move up, IBIO. So this happened approximately 7 minutes ago. And IBIO is up 3 standard deviations. Look at the daily chart. This thing's been ripping since 250. It's trading 14 times normal volume and up 11%. Now, I'm not saying that this is specifically a buy here. I'm just showing you the pattern recognition that this is an unusual behavior. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to quickly look at 1 year's worth of history, and then let me pop this back in. Okay, so the reason I'm going kind of longer term is that in the 1 year approximately since from January 124 to where we are now, this has gone up 202%. Remember, the key is your eyes are good statistical, analysis engines. Now this thing can rocket higher, can go all the way up to 390, but the one time it got here before, it pulled all the way back to 212, then it tried it again, failed. So I mean, again, you can go either way here. So let me show you something that you can do. I'm going to move this a little bit. So I'm going to right click and I'm going to trade. Whoops, sorry, I didn't have my brokerage plus open. Let me bear with me for a second, because I've done this before for you guys as well. Trade IBIO, and this time I'm going to short it and cover at 3, I'm going to cover it right here. So this is a very low risk type of trade, and this is completely arbitrary to some extent. I do not know what it is going to do. It has immense upside momentum, but in this particular example, I'm playing what's called the mean reversion game. Okay, so I'm going to show you guys something very powerful that I'm going to do with trade ideas in 1 second. But first of all, Patrick, dude, I know that there's fires all over. They're trying to set San Diego on fire. Mission Valley had a fire. Please be very careful. Big bummer. I'm very clued into all of that stuff. Absolutely. 100%. I don't have my roof painted blue yet, unfortunately. So I'm in the same boat as everybody else. But yeah. Hang tight. Hopefully they will put it out. Okay. So you guys, this is the window. I right click and I'm going to say save, share to cloud, copy. It's a pretty cool window. So here you go. And now it's in the chat. But I'm going to show you something else you can do with trade ideas that I think I've shown before, but this is going to be a good reiteration. And remember, we're honing in on the power, right? So I have this window, but let's say I want to see things that are going down, not up. How would I do it? There's an interesting way that you can do it. So watch what I'm going to do here. I'm going to make this window smaller. I'm going to right click and I'm going to say duplicate. Boom. That creates a copy of the window instantly. See, now I have 2 windows. Exact same 2 windows. But now I'm going to go to configure. Look at this right here. Flip. This automatically inverts the alerts, but keeps the filter settings because it's smart. It knows that this is what you want to look, but it reconfigured it for you without you doing anything. and it's going to say flip, big stat move up. So these are moving down. Now this one is a 754 was the last. This is when it caught this move right here, right? So that was a big down move. Just move this up. So you can take any window you have, you can right click, you can duplicate, and then you can invert the move. Notice Leap Therapeutics had a big pullback, but now is trying to do something here. And again, I'm not sure what this means, but I'm going to right click, save, and share to cloud, copy, and paste it in here. So what am I showing you is very important, is that any window you have, okay, any window you have, you can invert, okay? So we did these two momentum windows, and let's take a look at just today what we've seen, just so you can kind of get an idea. So this one has only had 3 VRTS, and sometimes, remember, this is statistical anomalies, right? So sometimes these are giving you the point where you should probably be reversing, most likely. So that's why I faded this one, because I've done this before. I mean, I know what these look like. If something's down 3 standard deviations, that's a mean reversion play typically. So you would have had the alert right here, and this is where it is right now. Like, notice right here, ran up, pulled back, but only just a little bit below here, and then ran up. So these are perfect mean reversion plays. All right. So we're approaching the tail end of my live stream, and I'm going to end this with an incredibly powerful view mode that many of you may not know exists. But once again, we're under the hood. In the background, we have the AI. You can see what we're doing. By the way, notice here. Oops. Okay, there we go. So previous AI signal came to it, pulled back, but might be approaching it again. 8 times relative volume. Again, our system right here, always keeping you in the what's going on. So you can see previous AI signal and right back at it. All right. Let me show you something kind of incredible. That's where I want to end it. New alert window. Start from scratch. I'm going to select new hives. You're going to see why. And I'm going to do very similar type of filtering. 1 to 25, relative volume of 2, and volume today of 500,000. And I'm going to call this window. Let me make sure I have the, yep, I got the high selected. I'm going to call this window Super Momo View Mode. Okay. And let me show you why. I'm going to hit OK. I'm going to bring this in. Come on. Where are you? Okay. Does everybody see the window? I have something missing from it before I can do what I need to do, and I'm going to show you what that is. Okay. I'm going to right click and I'm going to go to configure, and I'm going to search for something that we call the count. I'm going to go down. That's right here. The count. The count is a notification of how many times has a new high or a new low happened. And I'm going to say show column. So now I'm going to see price, description, symbol, time, what type of alert, and the count. I'm going to hit OK and OK. All right. So notice that VERV has had 85 highs, but SAND has had 10. So I'm going to double click on this. Keep newest ascending. Oh, sorry, descending, I think. And what's going to happen here is, let's watch this for a little bit, and you're going to see what's going on. Remember, I double clicked on this. And what I'm going to do actually is I'm going to make it so that we see more data, just so you can get an idea of just how. Okay. So UROY just hit a high, and it's had 15 of them. We need a new one to come in, and then I'll show you what this specific alert window is doing. And the market's just not doing that much right now. You know, it was up at 300 before. It's pulled back a little bit. You can see what's going on, right? Right here. Notice when I was talking, the lows overtook it, and we've been kind of in this serpentine kind of pattern. But notice, even though UROY happened, was the first thing that came up, CHSN is at the top. It's had 22 new highs. So the way I have this done now is that it's not by time, it's by who has the most momentum. Very, very powerful view mode. And I just want you guys to digest it as new data comes in, because you're going to see exactly what it is that's happening here. And this is probably one of the more powerful ways to utilize the software. He says, absolutely. On YouTube, everything that I'm doing, you will be able to see it. So as I continue to, Iris, I'll share this one as well. So notice CHSN, AGI just had a new high, but it's only 14. So it's third in the momentum compared to UROI and CHSN. And CHSN, notice this, right? I mean, I'm showing you a full year back, just giving you a big picture. This could be an interesting move. Now AGL comes in. It's the leader, 30. Boom. This way, the most new highs is literally the momentum meter, right? So this view mode, when you double click, the way I have it, group and sort by, and you're seeing the most momentum always at the top. Notice you can see that the column is indented. So this is the view mode. And by the way, you can put custom colors. You can do all sorts of cool things in there. But I'm just keeping it simple. So right click, save and share to cloud. Paste. Okay. So of course, everything that I did here, I'm going to replicate for the bearish, because we are in a little bit of a bearish territory right here. Notice that the red line is peaking above. So how do I do it? Right click, duplicate. Very easy to do. Move the window, grab it, move it lower. Right click, configure. And don't forget, there's not a lot of work. You simply press flip and hit OK. and watch. So notice the NTL just hit a new high, but only its eighth. But maybe it just started going. Again, this is just for PCG, 75th new low today. UPWK, 15 lows. AEG, 8. UMC, number 2, 37 new lows. Do you all see how powerful this is? Let me right click, save and share. And this is with the view mode already built in. So I want to say again, Jesus asked a great question, about the tutorial. So YouTube has so much. We have virtually every single thing that I'm showing you, and not virtually, it's in video form. Okay, but don't forget this. Okay, this, Jesus, and I'm just gonna copy. Well, let me go. Sorry, right here. I'm gonna give this to everybody as a link. This is our help section. And everything that I did here is in here. Education. Jesus was asking, how do I find something? Back to basics. What is a stock? Exchanges, order flow, charts. I mean, literally anything and everything you need is available to you in great detail. So many powerful features, detailed, where you can just see exactly what you're looking for, what it will look like in the alert window, etc. How do you set it up? Everything that I just did, step by step, it's there. Iris, my terrific knowledge comes through just continuing to do what I do every day, which is use trade ideas. And remember what I mentioned earlier, which is the way that you really get after it and take advantage of it, okay, is through repetition. So let me give you an example here. GRAL. Do you guys think I would buy it or short it? Just curious. Somebody write in the comments. I'm just curious, because you guys want to know what I would be doing. What do you guys think? Would I buy it or would I short it? Alex, let me ask you, why do you think that? I mean, and this is part of what makes these live streams good. Joel too, Urbana, we'll get to it. So why do you guys think buy? Is it because it's up $4 and just a quick question, why? Okay, so number one, I want to say that there is no right answer. Let me just quickly state that. Every single thing that you do here, in terms of do you buy or do you sell, is something that's your own specific fingerprint to the stock. So in my specific example, what I would be doing, and I'm going to do it for you guys, is this. I would be shorting it. Okay. And the reason I would be doing it is because right here, I actually can't do that because I'm in this trade from a long time ago at 22.45. So I have to get out of it in this account. Let me see here. Right. Stop and hide. Come on. Should be able to do it. Remember, you guys have a dev build, so there's lots of stuff that goes on mine that is not always what's happening with yours. Maybe I need to uncheck this one. I don't know, but I would definitely be taking the other side of this trade. And the reason is that the last time it came here is it pulled back quite a bit. So I'm not saying it's right, and it does have a lot of momentum, and it's up today, but I would be going in the other direction. Okay. Let's look at some other ones. Okay, that's girl. Let's look at STAI. So STAI, let's go look at, I like to look at longer term stuff. And by the way, the reason that it disappears is because I've got the channel out here so everyone can see it. So kind of the same thing. The last time it got here, it pulled back quite a bit. And so I feel like just from a statistical point of view, it's a little bit easier to short and very tight stop. So that's how these trades are done. They're field trades. I'm not a fortune teller. I do not know what's going to happen. But for these types of momentum plays, what I do typically is a little bit of mean reversion. Because partly, and I'm just so that you can hear me, partly is notice that I missed this, right? It's already been up 130. Now it has momentum, by the way. So I could easily be wrong. And here you can see the P&L shifting as it's happening. Notice whenever you get into trades, and this is in a paper trading mode, and for anybody that wants to do this well, I encourage you that this is like the driving range. If you're not using trade ideas and if you're not putting on paper trades where you're getting a feel and feedback, you're really missing the whole boat. And this is the power. So by the way, this is what that looks like. So this is my TI paper trading. And this is that STAI trade that we had. And again, you know, I'm not saying it's going to work exactly. I'm just saying that this is what I'm doing and the feedback I'm getting. Okay, let's look at another one together as we finish up here. We're going to look at SMR. So New Scale Power Corporation down 3%, 1.47, 104 new lows. It's ran up, pulled back, and is right here. We're again at resistance, and only because, by the way, see this? We're getting more bearish. So what I would be doing here is, once again, I would be taking the downside and I would be moving my stop really tight to right here. Whoops. Yeah, there it is. And hopefully you understand that trading, it's a multifaceted sort of endeavor. I'm looking at the chart right here, but I'm also looking at, this is a headwind. If this was reversed, if the green was going up and the red was going down, I could very easily be doing the complete opposite here. Do you guys understand what I'm talking about? Joel, make sure you shoot us an email to support. I think Chris can show you, Chris Farley, he's an expert at it. He can show you what it is that you're doing. You should not be missing any of the data. The trade history is exactly here. I didn't put on all these trades today. Some of them are older. So this is everything that you have open is here. So these are all the ones that I have open in this account called TI Paper Trading. So it should be the same for you. And if, yeah, so let's see, right click, save and share to the cloud. Okay, so let me show you guys how, okay. I'm going to show you how to make your own market pulse, very similar to what you see here. And this is going to be, we're a little bit over and I'm almost done. So I'm going to show it to you. And this is going to be the last thing that we do for this live stream. Okay, new. This is called a compare count window. And that's what the market pulse is. So compare count. So you're configuring the green data. Okay. You click right here and it's already set up. New high, pre-post, price, max, min one, and just an average, 5-day volume. You hit OK. Oops. I don't know why I can't select it. And let me hit OK. Sorry. I'm showing you what's in here. It's already pre-configured. New lows. Sorry, I was getting a little silly. So let me restart this so you can see exactly what I'm doing. New. Compare count window. And I'm going to hit OK. That's all you have to do. OK. And then positive versus negative. And what you're going to see is where this one has a lot of the previous history. Here's what's going on right now. So I'm going to right click, save and share to the cloud. And I'm going to paste it in. Okay, that's done. And now, let's see. Every scanner that you guys, I believe I did both of these already. They're in the chat. So everything is already in here. The Momo, but I'll do one more resend just so you can see how I do it. Save and share to the cloud. Save and share. It creates a cloud link. Copy. This is a little bit of redundancy. Paste. So now you have the green, and then the flip means the invert of it. The inversion. Save and share to the cloud. Copy. And where's my mouse? And now you guys have it all. All right, everyone. I want to thank everyone. By the way, just to the tune of our abilities here, that STAI trade, you see what I'm saying? This was the way I was reading the cards. That's why I did what I did. That's giving me the feedback that I'm doing it right. Reps, 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 the driving range. All right, so everything is in here. All you have to do is take the window that I gave you, configure and flip it. You want to do that on your own because that way you learn how to do it. So that's your homework assignment. Do it on your own. Take the one that I showed. I'm going to close these up. Take the one I gave, and it's not this one, but right click, duplicate, right click, configure, and then flip. Hit OK. And you will have the inverse of everything that I did. It's very simple to do. All of those are in the chat log. Okay, what's the question? Is this Barry? No. This is your favorite FinTech CEO. Barry's in our chat room. He's great. But this is Dan Merkin, your by far favorite FinTech CEO. What's the question about Barry? Or do you just wanted to know who you're hearing? Yeah, all good. Okay, you guys, I'm going to stop sharing. I appreciate everyone's time here. Next Wednesday, we're going to dive into back testing. Glad you got it back. Yeah, so, okay, last part, Money Machine. We're finishing up February 15th. We're going to, so far, the goal is release inside of Trade Ideas Pro. This is what we're waiting on. February 15th. And at the very end of February, it should be ready for live trading. Knock on wood. That's what we're hoping. All right, you guys. Love everybody. Have a great day. Kick butt trading. And we will see you next week.